Lauren Mitchell had stopped expecting miracles a long time ago. At 36, she'd built an empire from nothing, becoming CEO of one of the fastest-growing tech companies in the region. She could negotiate million-dollar deals, manage hundreds of employees, and command a boardroom with confidence. But none of that prepared her for the greatest challenge of her life. Watching her 4-year-old son, Noah, retreat further into silence with each passing month. The doctors had ruled out physical causes. Noah's hearing was perfect, his vocal cords healthy. The child psychologists spoke in careful terms about selective mutism, about trauma responses, about patience and therapy and time. Lauren had tried everything. Specialists, play therapy, different schools. Nothing worked. Noah hadn't spoken a single word in over 6 months. Not since his father walked out on them without warning, leaving only a note and an empty closet. On this particular Saturday afternoon in late spring, Lauren had taken Noah to Riverside Park, hoping the sunshine and open space might lift both their spirits. She sat on a bench watching her son play in the sandbox, his little hands carefully arranging piles of sand into precise patterns, his face serious and focused. He was so beautiful, her boy, with his light brown hair and thoughtful eyes. But he was locked away somewhere she couldn't reach. She'd brought her laptop, planning to catch up on work while Noah played, but she couldn't concentrate. Instead, she watched other children running and laughing, calling to their parents, chattering endlessly the way children do. The silence from her own son felt like a weight on her chest. That's when she noticed the man. He was kneeling in the grass about 20 feet away, watching Noah with gentle interest. He looked to be in his mid-30s, with dark hair and an open, kind face, wearing a navy t-shirt and jeans. Something about the careful, non-intrusive way he observed her son made Lauren pay attention rather than feel alarmed. The man seemed to consider something for a moment, then slowly stood and walked toward Noah, moving with deliberate calm. Lauren tensed, ready to intervene, but something made her wait. The man crouched down near the sandbox, not too close, leaving Noah plenty of space. He didn't say anything at first, just watched what Noah was doing with genuine interest. "That's a really impressive castle you're building," the man said softly. His voice was warm, unhurried. "I especially like the way you've made the towers different heights." "That takes real thought." Noah glanced at him briefly, then went back to his sand patterns, his small hands still moving methodically. The man settled into a more comfortable sitting position on the grass. "You know what? You remind me of my son. He's 7 now, but when he was your age, he used to build the most amazing things in the sandbox. He didn't talk much either back then. Still doesn't actually, at least not with words." Lauren found herself leaning forward, her heart beating faster. "My boy Ethan, he's autistic," the man continued, still addressing Noah in that same gentle, patient tone. "He communicates differently than most kids. For a long time I worried about that. I thought I was failing him, somehow, because he didn't talk the way other children did. But you know what I learned?" He paused, and Noah's hands had stopped moving. The little boy was listening, really listening. "I learned that there are lots of ways to talk," the man said. "Words are just one way. Sometimes we talk with our hands, making things like you're doing right now. Sometimes we talk with our eyes or our smiles, or by sharing what we love with people who matter to us. Ethan talks to me all the time, even though he rarely uses words. I just had to learn his language." The man looked at Noah's sand creation again. "If you wanted to show me how you built that corner tower, I'd love to learn. You don't have to tell me with words. You could just show me if you wanted." Lauren held her breath. Noah looked at the man for a long moment. Really looked at him, those thoughtful eyes searching. Then, very carefully, the little boy picked up his small plastic shovel and demonstrated how he'd been packing the sand to make it hold its shape. "Oh, I see," the man said, nodding seriously. "You pack it tight first, then shape it. That's smart. Much sturdier that way." Noah almost smiled. Then he did something that made Lauren's heart skip. He handed the man a second shovel, an invitation. They built in silence for several minutes, the man following Noah's lead, asking occasional quiet questions that didn't require verbal answers, understanding when Noah pointed or gestured. Lauren watched, tears streaming down her face, as her silent son communicated, in his own way with this stranger who somehow understood. Finally, Lauren approached them, her legs unsteady. "Excuse me," she said softly. The man looked up and stood immediately, a slight flush coloring his cheeks as he seemed to realize he'd been playing in the sandbox with someone else's child. "I'm sorry, I should have asked permission before—" "No," Lauren interrupted, her voice thick. "No, don't apologize. What you just did, how you were with him—" She couldn't finish the sentence. The man's expression softened with understanding. "I'm Ryan Harper," he said, extending his hand. "Single dad, park regular, amateur sandcastle architect." "Lauren Mitchell," she managed, shaking his hand. "And this is Noah." Ryan crouched down to Noah's level again. "It was an honor to build with you, Noah. You're an excellent teacher." Noah looked at Ryan, then at his mother, then back at his sandcastle. He picked up a small stick and carefully placed it on top of one of the towers like a flag. "That's perfect," Ryan said. "Every good castle needs a flag." Over the next hour, Lauren and Ryan talked while Noah played nearby, occasionally glancing back to make sure the adults were still there. Ryan told her about Ethan, about the journey of learning to parent a nonverbal autistic child, about the challenges and unexpected joys. "The hardest part was letting go of my expectations," Ryan admitted. "I had this picture in my head of what fatherhood would look like, playing catch, having long talks, all of that. But Ethan gave me something different. Something I didn't know I needed. He taught me to slow down, to notice things, to find meaning in moments instead of words." "Noah used to talk," Lauren said quietly. "He was chatty, always asking questions. Then his father left, and it was like Noah just shut down, stopped speaking completely. I've tried everything, therapists, specialists, different approaches. Nothing works." Ryan was quiet for a moment, watching Noah add details to his creation. "Maybe," he said carefully, "the question isn't how to make him talk again. Maybe it's how to hear what he's trying to say now, in the language he's choosing." Lauren felt something shift in her chest, a loosening of the desperate grip she'd had on this problem for months. "Would you like to get ice cream with us?" Ryan asked. "There's a place just across the park. Ethan and I go there every Saturday. He'd love to meet Noah, I think. They might understand each other." That's how it started. Ice cream on Saturdays became a regular thing. Noah and Ethan, despite their age difference, formed an immediate bond. Ethan communicated through a combination of sign language, picture cards, and an iPad with a speech app. Noah watched with fascination and slowly began using gestures more deliberately, finding ways to express himself without words. Ryan became a fixture in their lives, and Lauren found herself looking forward to those Saturday afternoons more than she wanted to admit. There was something about Ryan that made her feel safe enough to be vulnerable, to admit that she didn't have all the answers, that she was terrified and exhausted and sometimes felt like she was failing herself.